Wayne, how are you, buddy? Good to talk to you.
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Wish we didn't have this wall between us, but we're dealing with what we can. I'm knocking on the wall. That's me.
I hear you.
But let's talk about last week first before we look ahead to this week. What was it like for your room, especially considering the closeness of your group, dealing emotionally with what happened to Saquon during that game on Sunday when you all got back here on Monday and you kind of said, all right, what's next?
Uh, just having to move fast, transition quick. Of course, we check on our brother, make sure he's all good. But at the same time, Saquon's that type of player. He just wants us to be okay. He lets us know that he's all good, but he wants us to go out there and just do our best. You know what I'm saying? That's all we can really do.
And you guys have a new man in the room with you this week. You spent a few days now with Devontae Freeman. What has it been like getting to know him? And what is he going to bring to the football field to help you guys compete this Sunday?
Man, Vonta, I've been watching him for a long time. In college, he was a back that, with the whole Clemson-Florida State rivalry.
Sure.
Tuned into that a lot. But, he's a three-time Pro Bowler, man. He's just a vet, someone who I can ask questions to, someone who I can listen to whenever I do something wrong, good or bad, He's just that guy, you can depend on.
Well, and I guess in the same way, too, he's probably peppering you with questions, right? Because while he has a lot of experience in the league, he doesn't have experience in this offense. So has it been a bit of a give and take between you guys?
Yeah. He's asked all of us questions, and, we've been there for him. But, he's been very quick. He's a quick learner, and he hasn't had any issues.
All right, so now we're looking, I guess, to start at least, and we'll figure out how it goes, a running back by committee. What's the key, do you think, to the success when you have three backs in your room, four if you want to count Eli Penny, that are going to try to fill a role together, and the coaching staff will try to use all of you guys to your strengths on Sunday when you go out there onto the field?
It's just going to take all of us going out there, man, doing what we need to do, just doing our job. And, as long as we do our job, we really can ask for nothing else. We give effort. We're just going to try to just do our best, and that's all you can ask for.
Now, you were in this opportunity last year. You came out, I think you had 18 carries in that first game after Saquon's injury. Then you unfortunately had to deal with that concussion and knocked you out for a couple of games. How excited are you to have this opportunity now to get that on the field and help the team win a game?
Man, I can't tell you how excited I am, but, number one priority, just doing my job and just being the best Wayne Gallman I could be on the field and just being a good teammate, and that's all I'm focused on.
Where do you think you've made the most progress, Wayne, in terms of improving from this time last year to now?
My mental game. I think that's one of my biggest improvements. And, we always deal with everything in the offseason, man, catching, running, whatever it is. I feel like I've gotten better in a lot of areas.
Now, you say mental game. Are you talking things like pass protection, a mental approach, understanding the offense? Where do you think you've really progressed mentally?
Just mental approach, just locking in, just to be that guy, just, preparing like a starter, whether it's, your first, second, or third on the depth chart, to whoever it is. That's just the mental approach you got to take in any situation just to be your best, and that's why I feel like I've improved.
Were you kind of pulling your hair out a little bit last year when you got out there, you had the opportunity to get all those carries, then the injury hit, and then you had trouble making your way back out onto the field through no fault of your own? Was that something that was really frustrating for you to kind of work through?
Man, you know what? Things happen, and you can only control the things that you can control, and that's all I did at the end of the day, and that's all you really can do in life. So that's all I got to say. Control
the controllables, no doubt about it. When you guys looked at tape this week and you watched this 49ers defense together as a group, what did you see?
And they're a good group, man. They did win the Super Bowl last year, but, they're just a good overall team. They're fast, quick. Their linebackers are pretty fast, have a good defensive line. We just had to come prepared, come and do our thing, and just worry about us. And I think it'll take us the way.
Well, let's ask about you then. You've been in this Jason Garrett offense now for a couple of games. You had the virtual offseason, no preseason games. What's your comfort level in this system in terms of what they're asking you and the running backs to do?
You can never be too comfortable, but I would say I feel like I have a very good understanding of the offense as well as all the other backs in the room do as well. Each day we're taught pretty much everything, to numbers on the field to, the calls we make. It's pretty much everywhere. So I think we all in the running back room have a great understanding of the offense.
You know, Wayne, sometimes a lot of these offenses will lock the running game into a specific style, inside zone, outside zone, whatever the case might be for that particular scheme. But watching Jason Garrett over the years and watching you guys early this season, it seems like they really mix in a lot of stuff. They mix in power, they mix in the pulling guard, they mix in outside, inside zone. What does that do for a running back where you have to know how to execute all these different schemes, but at the same time it gives you flexibility to maybe attack an opponent's weakness week in, week out, since you are comfortable doing a lot of different things?
Man, it's just another play call. You know, as a back, as long as we get the ball, we got to know what to do with it, you know. That's what we're used for. So it's just coming in prepared, you know, getting prepared throughout the week, just making sure you know your keys, know who's getting blocked, know where this guy's going or where that guy's going, just doing what needs to be done, just doing your job.
How much is it for the running backs to gain chemistry with the offensive line? Everyone talks about the offensive line gaining chemistry within that group. But for you guys, understanding the pace that they're going to play at, where the holes might open, to really get this running game going a little bit.
It pretty much just goes to practice, you know. You do all those things in practice and you build that chemistry over the weeks and weeks and weeks that you know, are doing pretty much the same thing. And overall, you know, you just build that base chemistry just being there, you know what I'm saying? And there's really no other way to put it.
So when you look at your running game the first couple of weeks as a team, it's a group effort. It's the backs, it's the offensive line, it's the tight ends, it's the receivers, everyone that's blocking. What needs to happen for the New York Football Giants to get this running game going this week against the 49ers?
Man, we just got to go in there, be us, trust what we do, trust our keys, and really just trust in each other. And I think that'll take us all the way.
We mentioned the 49ers earlier. I'm sure you've gotten a bunch of questions about all the injuries they have on defense. But if you look at that tape against the Jets last week, even after they had those injuries, they still play really good fundamental football. What is it about their scheme and the way they execute that scheme that makes them difficult to deal with?
They just have good talent all across the board. You know, their linebackers are pretty fast. They have good strike, burst. And like I said earlier, their defensive line is one of the best in the league. We just got to come ready, man, and just do us, and it'll be fine.
And as players, you can't listen to that talk about, oh, they're banged up, the guys aren't there. You guys can't worry about any of that stuff, right?
Of course not.
When you look at their linebackers, you mentioned the speed, Fred Warner, Quan Alexander, very good football players. When you look at linebackers with speed as a running back, do you look at them and say, all right, maybe we go downhill a little bit? You don't want them ask those guys to go sideline to sideline. That's your strength. What is a goal for you when you're going against linebackers that speed is really the thing that is their major strength?
You really just want to be more in tune with your offensive line, knowing where the blocks are going to be, knowing who the blocks are going to go to, and who's pressing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really just about being patient, pressing your blocks, and just reading it out the right way, and just being physical. It's going to be a physical game, and we just got to bring it.
We had Joe Judge in here a second ago. We talked about how he kind of handles his film room sessions after these games week in, week out. I asked Darius this last week, what are those film sessions like with the coaching staff after a game? Joe Judge phrased it to us as being brutally honest. From a player's perspective, what is it like when you sit down with Coach Judge and your running back coach, Burton Burns, go through the film to try to make the corrections you have to make after each week?
It's pretty good, I would say. Criticism is always good because it makes you better as a player. Lets you know what you need to work on, lets you know what you got to work on that week. And most importantly, just to know that, you know in the future what you want to prevent, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't. I guess imagine for you guys it's key that none of this stuff's personal, right? It's just a matter of playing better on the field.
Exactly, because as a team, you can't take things personal, you know. Not just the coaches, but as teammates, we all are very critical of each other. You know, I was just telling Devonta and Dion, you know, if you see me doing something, correct me. You know, it's as simple as that. We all depend on each other, and that's why that's what a team is.
What's the sense of urgency right now, Wayne, at 0-2? Obviously, no one wants to fall into an 0-3 hole heading into this week. What's been the message from the coaches? And more importantly, what have the players been like talking to each other, making sure you're out there and you bring your A-level performance on Sunday?
Our preparation hasn't changed. We go out there, we still preparing the same way. Of course, you know, the approach will be different every week as it is for a different team. But, you know, we keep our base fundamentals base, if that makes sense. We're just going to keep on doing what we've been doing. you know, we trust what we're doing. We trust our players, and just gonna go out there and play our best game.
Final question, Wayne. Does home field advantage exist anymore? I know you've only had one so far this year on Monday night to start the year. There's no crowd, but you're in the building that, you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. Is there such thing as home field advantage in this COVID era in 2020?
I would say for me personally, I don't think so. You just go in there, and as long as you're focused to play and, man, you just focused on doing your job, I think you're fine. Whether it's turf, grass, whatever. I just think you go in there and you do your thing and you're focused, everything should be fine and play out the way it should be.
You're basically just treating it like a practice, right? When you have no crowd there cheering you on type of deal?
You could say that.
Finally, you mentioned the turf, so I'll just ask you one quick one. The 49ers made a big deal about the turf against the Jets last week. You guys were on that field for a couple of scrimmage. You walk through there every week during the summer. I haven't heard anything about it negative. You played that first game against the Steelers. They had one injury, but the guy got rolled on. It happens. That happens in the NFL.
Right.
From your perspective, turf's fine?
Man, every player has their own personal perspective, man. And, how I take it, it is what it is. Bad, good, rainy, don't really matter, man. You just got to go out there and just do the best that you can and protect yourself.
I imagine having the right shoes on is important too, right, depending on the surface you're on?
Right.